May I come?
Come.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Anuj, come. You are already in Danix.
Sir. Sir.
So your training is complete or your training is going on?
So I've just joined the probation on 16th of December 2024, sir.
Achha, you joined the probation.
Sir.
And you went through the foundation course also?
No, sir. For the Group B services, the training starts in Delhi only, sir.
Delhi only. Okay. You are interested in meditation.
Sir.
How do you define meditation?
So meditation is the mental practice of aligning the thoughts that are going through the brain so that the brain can focus on what is happening in the present and not wandering in past or future, sir.
What does it mean when it is concentrating on present? What does it mean?
Sir, it means that
You've given a very complicated definition of meditation.
Sir, when we say that one should focus on present, I mean to say that one should not be deviated by their past or future worries and should see indifferently what is being happening with themselves and around themselves, sir.
Okay. Who is your famous comedian? You are stand-up comedy you watch.
Sir, my favorite comedian would be Abhishek Upmanyu, sir.
Okay. We had some comedians where we thought that when they were telling jokes, we filed some cases against those comedians. Do you think that such cases should be filed?
Sir, I believe that there have been issues and there have been reasons where such cases can be filed when the comedians go below the belt and target particular community or religion, or let's say, so they have targeted joke towards a particular gender. So that are the areas where action could be taken so that would not become the trend in the general society, sir.
The comedian should also remain within the limit.
Yes, sir. Sir, I believe that should be the trend, sir.
That should be there. Okay. You have done MBBS.
Sir.
And your subject is also medical science.
Sir.
How did India perform during COVID days?
Sir, I believe that India did right steps and it took right steps during the first wave as well as it took prompt actions during the second waves. Although the magnitude of the pandemic was such that lives could not be saved as was seen in the second wave largely. But sir, there is a lot to learn from the pandemic and India took some proactive measures in the form of ensuring community follows the measures of taking mask as well as maintaining distances, as well as the task of administering 220 crore vaccine doses to the people. That was also a task of such magnitude could be possible due to the prompt action taken by the government.
4 major diseases which are causes of maximum deaths in India.
Sir, as the data shows, 60% of the deaths in India are attributed to the non-communicable diseases, of which diabetes, hypertension, cardiovascular diseases, as well as cancer are the biggest 4 diseases.
Why cancer is becoming one of the major problems in India?
Sir, I believe that one of the most important reason for cancer becoming the biggest disease causing factor is the lifestyle changes that the population is adopting. And that has been one of the reason, especially the substance abuse that is becoming common in the society, that is prompting a lot of cancers in the society, sir.
Your take on India-Middle East relationship?
Sir, since Middle East is the region that is in close proximity to India, the stability and the peace in the region is of utmost importance for India. But sir, in the last year, given the Israel-Hamas war that has been going, it has posed serious concerns for India's maritime security as well as its economic interest. And sir, I believe that the recent ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas has given us optimistic reason to be hopeful.
Why this Middle East is very important for us? 2-3 regions.
Sir, firstly, the Gulf countries are among the top block of trade countries with India. So secondly, a large diaspora population lives in the Gulf countries, sir. And thirdly, sir, a lot of India's trade passes through the region of Arabian Sea as well as the straits that are the bottlenecks of maritime communication lines, sir, and therefore it makes it an important reason, sir.
Have you gone through the budget highlights today?
Sir, not completely through it, but have seen
Any important thing? Any important development from an employee point of view?
So certainly the government, the honorable finance minister has given a respite for the middle class and exempted up to 12 lakh income from the income tax slab, sir.
It is fully exempted or it is some concession has been given? What has been done?
Sir, up till 12 lakh a person would not be needed to pay income tax, and further 75,000 deduction is also available to them, sir.
Okay.
Sorry. People often say, and more so our colleagues who are like us who are retired, they often say that doctors make healthcare expensive. Now, my question to you is as if you are an IAS officer today. In that scenario, what steps you would take in this direction to provide a remedy?
Sir, it is right that there have been cause of concern for the larger population at large due to the out-of-pocket expenditures that they have to go through. So the steps that I can take after becoming an IAS officer would be firstly, sir, promoting the use of generic medicines in the hospitals so that it would be more affordable for the population. Secondly, sir, I would ensure
in the hospitals. You would be able to do only in government hospitals.
Yes, sir.
You would have no control over private hospitals.
Sir, as a DM, I would like to nudge the private hospitals also to adopt the generic medicines. And apart from it, sir, I would like to ensure that the healthy lifestyle is adopted by the population, so that
that is something different.
And sir, as far as the expenditure part is concerned, I would like to ensure that the insurance scheme that the government is rolling out reaches the population so that they take the benefit of it.
So that is helping with the both, the insurance company also. The question is basically aimed at how do doctors make it expensive? By asking patients to undergo too many tests which may or may not be required.
Sir.
That is the idea.
Sir.
Can it be controlled in some way?
So there are in fact guidelines from the NMC also that says that irrational prescription of tests as well as medicines should be curbed as far as possible, and that should be enforced at a larger scale, sir.
Well, as a doctor, when there is a problem, when patient comes to you, you do the diagnosis, and as per your knowledge and the rule book, you provide the medicine.
Sir.
You give the remedy. As an administrator, generally, when the problem comes to an administrator, you apply the laws and the rules.
Sir.
But sometimes it happens while working in the government that you face a problem and there are no rules on that subject.
Sir.
What would you do in that situation?
Sir, as an administrator, there would be many areas where I will have to employ my discretion. And in those areas, I would be guided by the spirit of Constitution.
What is that? Let us hear from you 3-4 specific things. What would be in the discretion and what would be the guidance from the Constitution?
Sir, I believe that I would like to follow the constitutional spirit as is exemplified in the preambular goals of justice, equality, liberty, as well as fraternity, sir. These would be the guiding light for my actions. Apart from this, sir, there would be circumstantial developments also guided by my personal ethics and the learnings that I have learned all my life, sir.
Okay. What is the relationship between stock market and state of economy? Let's talk in context of India only.
Sir.
Say if stock market is doing well, does it mean that economy is doing well and vice versa? What is the relationship?
Sir, I believe in the larger picture if we see, there is a correlation between the stock market and the economy at large. But sir, if we go into a smaller picture, since the stock market is a speculative market, the traders tend to forecast what
is only a speculative market.
Sir, largely it has been seen that the traders speculate. There are also investment also. for the longer term. But as far as the speculation is concerned, it tries to forecast what is going to happen in the economy. And there we can see the divergence between the stock market and the economy also.
See, today often we see that the market goes down because something is happening in America.
Sir.
Why does it happen? What does it mean?
Sir, it is largely driven by the fact that in Indian stock markets, there have been investments from foreign institutional investors.
Okay.
So, driven by the fears that if something good or bad is happening in the Western markets, FIIs or FPIs might pull out of Indian equity markets.
If it is happening bad, they will continue to stay here.
And so vice versa, if there would be something bad, then they would like to be in India, and if the domestic economy of Western nations would be doing good, so then they would pull out of India, sir.
Apart from the FII, what are the factors which affect the stock market?
So apart from it, the
Local factors.
the perception of economy, and also the profit margins of the corporate sector also. So that develops the trust with which the investors would like to place on the institutions, sir. And also the policy measures that the
Policy measures. That's where the budget comes into picture.
Sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So Anuj,
Sir.
taking from there, why the funds get transferred, shift to Fed when they increase the rate of interest
Sir.
from the emerging economies?
Sir, since the central bank increases the rate of interest in the economy, it makes the investment in bank instruments more favorable, and that pulls out the money from the equity markets, and that leads to the downfall as we see in the equity markets, sir.
Okay. So now question, how do you feel that we can improve the ethics in the conduct of doctors, because of the increase in the corporate culture, the ethics are somewhere taking a back seat. The doctors at times tend to prescribe lot many tests which may not be essential, and the approach of diagnosis versus diagnosis based on the test is shifting. So what do you feel? How can we, the doctors are required to serve in the villages, that also at times does not happen. Compulsorily till the time they are supposed to serve, they serve, thereafter they switch over to corporate or to bigger places. So the healthcare systems in the villages is not there, which is supposed to be there.
Sir, I believe to inculcate a culture of ethics in the profession of medicine, the first step I would like to take is to ensure that ethics and moral studies are being taught as a part of curriculum in medical sciences, sir. Secondly, sir, I would like to ensure that good role models are explained to the students so that they can emulate what the leaders have done in this field, sir. Thirdly, sir, I also feel that inculcating empathy as well as compassion towards the society and patients is the one thing that the doctor should be taught very diligently, so that they start practicing it from the start, and the patient's health becomes the utmost motive for them rather than profit, sir.
There was little talk about the medical insurance also,
Sir.
Different kind of approach what medical insurance companies adopt for a wealthy person to a normal person, so that normal people tend to pay a lot of premium but don't get that kind of reimbursement. What was that?
I'm sorry, sir, I'm not exactly.
You are not aware about it. Okay. So in the normally these days in election, many political parties, they offer a lot of freebies.
Sir.
Now freebies are become very, very competitive. Somebody says I'll give you 10 rupees, somebody says I'll give you 12 rupees, etc., etc. So is it a dangerous approach or it's a good approach? Should we concentrate on freebies or better amenities? And how can it be stopped? Could this be controlled by some agency?
Sir, I believe that we'll have to distinguish between what constitutes as freebies and what constitutes as welfare. Because going for welfare is aligned with the spirit of DPSPs as mentioned in the constitution. But as far as freebies part is concerned, sir, I would like to agree with what the previous Finance Commission chairman has said, that it is it is a downward spiral, the competitive freebies that the states are giving, and therefore will have to be curbed. And a consensus has to be brought between the political parties, which could be from the national parties, starting from the national parties. And sir, Supreme Court has also asked from the central government as well as ECI for what measures could be taken. And the Election Commission has said that since it is a policy directive, it cannot ask the political parties, or it cannot deny them the right to declare the freebies in their manifesto. So sir, largely it has to be a consensus based decision from the political parties itself, and the voter has to also show that they are not completely gravitated towards the freebies, but are also thinking about the larger economic and social interests of the society.
Okay, my last question. How's PM BJP doing?
Sorry sir, can you please repeat?
PM BJP.
I'm sorry sir, I'm not aware.
Generic medicines.
Okay,
Bharati Jan Aushadhi Pariyojana.
sir. Sir, the Jan Aushadhi scheme is for the generic medicines, and sir, there have
What is
been...
the spread? Briefly, is it? It is available in the market. It is being provided in the healthcare centers and
And sir, there are Jan Aushadhi shops there.
shops. Okay.
Yes sir.
Thank you.
Thank you sir.
Okay, Anuj. Now you are in the Delhi government of Delhi, working for the government of Delhi.
Sir.
Okay. Now you have a problem. You have an elected government and you have a lieutenant governor who are at loggerheads.
Sir.
They are each trying to encroach upon the other areas. So what is your personal view? Should the elected government, representative of the people, be given the power to transfer and remove and change, take action against government officers or not, officers working under them?
Sir, I believe that the case of Delhi as the seat of national governance is a sui generis, and therefore a special status is given to it in the constitution itself, denying it certain provisions from the other states that other states have been having. And sir, services is the one part that Honorable Supreme Court has also declared that the state government should have a say on it. But as the act being brought by the Parliament, it has constituted a authority that is to be headed by the Chief Minister, elected Chief Minister, and has also members from other parts that would be taking.
What is the constitution of that transferring of that authority?
I'm sorry, sir, I'm not exactly aware about.
You are working there. It is the Chief Minister, the Chief Secretary, and the Home Secretary or Services Secretary.
Sir.
So consists of 3 members. And if 2 members vote against 1 member, that means the 2 officers vote against the Chief Minister, their writ runs. So in reality, the Chief Minister has no power to transfer anybody.
Sir, I believe that the situation is such.
How will the government function in such a case? I mean, if the officers know that they cannot be transferred, no action can be taken against them by the elected government, will they follow the policies of the elected government or not?
Sir, as it is the mandate for a civil servant to follow the policy of the head of the government. So, sir, rightly it should be that the civil servants should be following the policies of the government. And
So this is an anomalous situation. I mean, there is no control over the civil servant. So how will they follow? Why should they follow? They will do whatever they want.
So although the authority should function on a consensus basis, but it can be, sir, the authority could be reframed with the...
See, unless you are made to, unless you are responsible to somebody, you will not function. You cannot extract, you cannot force them to do a particular thing, follow a particular plan of action. So if they know that they cannot be harmed.
Sir, I believe that the civil servants working in Delhi government should be responsible towards the government of Delhi as well as the central government, that is the cadre controlling authority of the civil.
Both, there is a dichotomy.
But sir, cooperation between both.
They have, if the governments are have divergent views, divergent plans of action, then the civil servant is stuck. You will be permanently stuck in this cadre as an annex officer if you don't.
And so, therefore, to insulate the civil servants from the political tussle between different parties, the services is to be brought under the lieutenant governor, sir.
Then to absolutely no control at all. Then there will be no control. Then what is the government there for? They need not, be elected. You can run the government through the lieutenant governor. And what is the value of an elected representative?
So apart from these few areas, the other domain are rightly in the domain of elected government, sir.
What are the other domains?
Sir, that would be concerning to health, education.
So if the health secretary doesn't listen to the government, or if the education secretary doesn't listen to the government, what can you do? You can't transfer him.
So that would be creating a situation of policy paralysis. But
That is what is happening.
so I believe that the steps taken by the current civil services headed by the chief secretary, I believe that such situation of a tussle between civil servants and the government should not arise, because that would be affecting the population of Delhi, sir.
Should not rise. Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Anuj, you were talking about diaspora's importance, West Asia and all, no?
Ma'am.
What is the importance of diaspora, apart from soft power and remittances? No? Why we are focusing so much on diaspora?
Ma'am, I believe that diaspora has an important role to influence the local politics of that state, and which could be beneficial from our national interest point of view, ma'am.
So how can the West Asian diaspora influence the polity in West Asia?
Ma'am, although since Western Asian countries are largely monarchical and therefore they do not have a political leverage, but they can surely influence the economic point of view, ma'am. And by attracting their investments in
You
India.
can say in a way lobbying.
Yes, ma'am.
One. What else?
Ma'am, since the diaspora population is largely a prosperous population in those countries, we can.
Everywhere it's not prosperous. I am talking about diaspora as a whole.
Yes, ma'am. We can leverage their potential to invest in India, and as well as we can utilize.
How much FDI diaspora through diaspora route it is coming to India?
I'm sorry, ma'am, I'm not aware.
It is very less.
And ma'am, apart from it, we can also benefit from the brain gain that we can get from the diaspora population. On an individual basis, if the knowledge that they have gained in those countries, that could be beneficial for us, ma'am.
Okay. You watch stand-up comedies.
Ma'am.
Yeah. Can you name some comedians who are today successful politicians?
Ma'am, I believe the first comedian that comes to my mind is the Honorable Chief Minister of Punjab, Mr. Bhagwant Mann.
Outside India?
Ma'am, outside India, the President of Ukraine, Mr. Zelensky, is a comedian. He was a comedian. And
Okay. Anyways, Gandhiji's life, through his life, he has shown us that simplicity is very important, and we should be simple in our endeavors, in our efforts everywhere. But at the same time, Charlie Chaplin has said, simplicity is a difficult thing to achieve. What is your view?
Ma'am, I believe that simplicity is a virtue that should be emulated by the youth of our country, and especially is more pertinent in our society where consumption and materialism is on the rise. And although it is a difficult virtue to gain, but one should strive to get into the zone of simplicity.
How? How will you promote or motivate the youth towards simplicity? Because today we don't find simplicity anywhere.
Ma'am, to promote simplicity, it is the responsibility of the socializing agent, and that would be a collective responsibility starting from the house itself, from parents, teachers, as well as the peer group and the media also, because a lot of content that the population is consuming drives their actions. And if we impart the virtues of simplicity through it, that would be in a way allowing simplicity to be adapted.
Like nowadays, many people are saying the simplicity and the sanctity of Kumbh. We are seeing it decreasing because of media, like you said, social media and all. What is your take on this?
Ma'am, it is right that there have been instances where people just go to places, sacred places like Kumbh for just media attention as well as making reels and social media presence. But ma'am, I still believe that this is a small population as compared to a large population that still goes for the reverence that it holds for Kumbh and the spiritual gain that they can get there. But ma'am, largely as a trend, it should be discouraged, and the words of preaching should be coming from the religious leaders as well as the top politicians also. So that could inculcate a positive trend in the youth of our society.
So,
Okay. You are a doctor and you are an administration also now.
Sir.
How will you take care of the problem of drug addiction? It is spreading throughout the country. Not only in Punjab, no, it's Rajasthan, it's there in Gujarat, it is there in Andhra Pradesh.
Sir, I believe that it is right that the menace of drug is spreading across the society and more so in the youth of our country. So I would like to take the following steps. Sir, first would be to persuading the youth and by explaining them the consequences of what can happen to them. Although the instant gratification that they might be getting from drugs might gravitate them towards it, but the long-term consequences are disastrous. Sir, secondly, sir, as I have also done in my personal life also, so I have shown a project by demonstrating a cotton wisp through igniting it by a cigarette butt, sir. And that shows how dark matter is deposited on that cotton. And so such working demonstration could be showed to the population or the community so that they can directly see what is happening to their lungs. And that could create a sense of fear or apprehension in them and acting as a deterrent measure for that. Thirdly, sir, it is also a law and order concern, and enforcement agencies like the Narcotics Bureau of our country should proactively work to curb the access of drugs to the population, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
We'll
you,
call you for feedback.
Thank you, sir.